Now, from the Columbia Basin, your local news source, this is iFIBER 1 News, presented in high definition. The #1 source for real-time local news, local sports headlines, and our very own Weather Center forecast covering the entire Columbia Basin. With your iFIBER 1 News team, reporting news in real time as it's happening. From the iFIBER Communications HD broadcast studio in Ephrata, Washington, this is iFIBER 1 News, and it starts now.
Welcome to iFIBER 1 News. I'm Cody Johnson with news from around the Columbia Basin for Tuesday, January 29th. Tonight we report on how the state is finding a Royal City farm and how Moses Lake saved $200,000 by not platting Cascade Park. We also look at the needs of a family who lost everything they were storing for the birth of their son, and how a Tacoma banker was sentenced to 10 years in prison for mortgage fraud. In sports, we have local high school and wrestling highlights. Our spotlight story tonight is a Moses Lake couple and their business of delivering almost anything to anyone. And we have the latest weather forecast for the Columbia Basin from the iFIBER 1 Weather Center. Our top story tonight, the owner of a Royal City farm says it was a rainstorm, not faulty farm practices, that caused a creek to be polluted with runoff. B&G Farms owner Mike Brown told the Capitol Press he'll appeal a $20,000 Washington Department of Ecology fine for violating state water quality laws by not controlling soil erosion near Lower Crab Creek. The land north of Royal City is on what's called the Smyrna Bench, a flat area between two steep hills above and below it. The bench is on the north side of Saddle Mountains. The state reported a heavy storm in July of 2012, which sent a large amount of soil down the hill and into Lower Crab Creek, covering the road, smothering fish habitat, and polluting the creek with mud. Their investigation reportedly indicated B&G Farms' measures were inadequate to avoid erosion. Farm Representative Farrah Wardenar said this area receives 2+ inches of massive rainfall within 20 minutes. No amount of cover crop could have held the amount of water that was raging off the Saddle Mountain above our farm. The Moses Lake City Council is waiving a requirement needed to rebuild restrooms at Cascade Park on Valley Road to save $200,000. The park is unplatted property. Moses Lake requires property to be platted to receive an extension of city services such as sewer and water. If a property is platted and receiving city services, then the city code requires the property to meet all city standards such as curbs, sidewalks, lighting, and landscaping. The move is to allow the city to replace restrooms at Cascade Park without incurring a high cost to plat the property. The facility would not be hooked to city services. Community Development Director Gilbert Alvarado wrote, "The approximate cost of connecting to the city sewer would be more than $200,000. This type of request has been approved for developers when the cost of extending or connecting to the city's water and sewer systems were exorbitant." Moses Lake is working on preparing a new vision for the future and is conducting a series of workshops to gather input. Here with the story is Ryan Lancaster.
A handful of participants showed up to the Moses Lake Civic Center auditorium on Monday for the second in a series of meetings geared towards drafting a new city vision statement. Community development staff are asking residents to take part in redefining the city's vision for the future as part of a larger comprehensive plan update. On Monday night, city planners explained the comprehensive plan serves as a land use and development guide to assist policy decisions and achieving a long-term vision. Community Development Director Gil Alvarado said the current vision statement, a 21-page document, was drafted by committee in the early 90s. This was soon after the state began implementing comprehensive planning regulations.
Typically, a vision statement is not that detailed.
Attendees on Monday were asked to start brainstorming a new, less complicated philosophy for the city.
The idea is that we don't want to create a document that's simply going to sit on a shelf.
An online survey and initial meeting in early January revealed some of the major changes Moses Lake residents would like to see over the next 20 years. On Monday night, those changes were the focus of 2 activities geared towards pinpointing what things are most important to include in the city vision. The wish list included things like more retail and dining, healthier lifestyles, more cultural events, citywide beautification, and improvements to education. Garnering perhaps the most votes last night was the notion of improving the Moses Lake Library. Organizers say they'll look through the input gathered last night and hold another meeting in about 2 weeks. For more information and to see the city's current vision statement, visit www.cityofml.com/visioning or call 509-764-3751. For iFIBER 1 News, this is Ryan Lancaster reporting.
Thanks, Ryan. A Soap Lake man was injured yesterday in a collision with a snowplow on Interstate 90 just east of the Snoqualmie Pass summit. Michael C. Jr., a 33-year-old man, was driving a 2006 Dodge van west on the freeway when he reportedly lost control and veered into another lane, striking a Washington Department of Transportation snowplow. C. was transported to Overlake Hospital for treatment. The driver of the snowplow was not injured. The Washington State Patrol listed the cause of the collision as C's speed being too fast for conditions. Serve Moses Lake and the Moses Lake Food Bank are asking for donations to be given to a family in need. The family was preparing for the birth of their son by collecting items and putting them in storage. When they went to their storage locker, they found everything had been stolen. The charity organizers are asking people to donate size 1 diapers, baby wipes, bath supplies, infant boys' clothes, blankets, baby crib, car seat, and a stroller. People can bring items to the Serve Moses Lake office located at 422 West 3rd Avenue from Monday through Thursday from 9 a.m. to 12 p.m. and from 1 to 4 p.m. on Friday. Any leftover items will be donated to Crossroads Resource Center. Each of the people you see here have warrants for their arrest and are wanted by various law enforcement agencies. If you see any of these people, the DOC asks that you not attempt to detain or apprehend them, but to call police. You can also call the Department of Corrections at 509-764-6180 during the day or 509-762-1160 after 5 p.m. We'll be right back after these messages with the latest from the iFIBER 1 Weather Center, and we'll have sports and more news coming up.